Hey guys, today I'm taking a look at this classic but brand new Cooler Master case. This is the MasterCase H500P Mesh, the white version. With this case, Cooler Master in my opinion went back to their roots design-wise, but obviously went with modern elements such as the omnipresent RGB these days and tempered glass. The highlights of this particular case I'm gonna tell you right away are the huge included fans and the pretty much all white interior, not just the exterior. How much do you have to pay for this kind of case? Well, a bit more than you might expect. $150 right now, so more on the pricey side. But what exactly do you get with this H500P mesh case? Right away, I probably should point out that the Cooler Master logo is missing on the front mesh cover, it seems. I don't know, it seems like it kinda fell off somewhere in the factory, but that's just a very minor issue with my specific sample, I hope. These days, most cases come with a closed front cover, except for some vents. As beautiful as that may look, it hinders airflow. So this is why we get a mesh cover and a pair of huge 200mm fans for some really good airflow in a long while. And the fact that those fans are RGB lit further enhances cooling performance, as we all know. Now, as for the exterior, we are mainly talking of plastic in terms of materials. The interior and frame is all thick steel though. Very solid build quality. Also, for those wondering, no, that's not real glass on the top, it's an acrylic window. Spec-wise, I will admit the H500P Mesh does stand out in some way, mainly due to its pre-installed 200mm fans and support for lots of fans and beefy radiators. The tempered glass panel does not unscrew the usual way, you basically unlock it and take it off. I really like this method. Now, I should point out there are quite a few removable plates, so to speak. The PSU shroud comes in two pieces and both are fully removable. You could reposition the hard drive cage further away from the front to make room for a radiator, and then there's also this cover plate to neatly hide away those cables, of course also removable. There are plenty of holes as well as good rubber grommets for clean cable management, and even though I did a pretty horrible 2-minute cable management job there, this case is very forgiving. Lots of room to work with, but I sure do hate this plastic cover on the CPU cutout hole, but luckily it could be taken off somehow. There also was this cable cover back here to hide even more cables, but I had to take that cover out completely. Didn't work well with my bad cable job. The installation of 3.5-inch drives is toolless, and with those two included SSD brackets, 2.5-inch drives could either be mounted onto the PSU shroud, one directly on the HDD cage, or both behind the motherboard tray. Besides the front fans, we do get a 140mm one on the rear as well for exhaust. A completely white one, no LED lighting. Despite only having 3 pin plugs, the fans are pretty quiet, so no worries there. As for dust filters, the mesh in the front is filtered, a bit of filtering is going on up there on the top cover as well, and of course a removable PSU dust filter. For those that care, vertical GPU mounting is supported here, but a riser cable is not included. Now let's talk RGB lighting and how it's controlled. If your motherboard has one of those 12-volt RGB headers, you could control the lighting that way. Alternatively, you could use the included RGB controller. Now, if you don't want to crawl into your case every time you want to change colors or effects, you can hook up your reset switch to that controller. Now, as good as those colors and effects look, there are only very little color and effect choices with the included controller. But then again, most probably would hook the RGB up to their motherboard anyway. Obviously, my test system fits into the H500P Mesh just perfectly, and you could, without any doubt, install a ton more stuff than I did. It's a cool looking case, not really my style 100%, but that comes down to preference as always. However, the quality and features of this case sure are impressive, and the RGB lighting is pretty cool as well. I personally like the fact that the interior is white as well. The pricing is not necessarily low, but that's something you have to decide on whether or not all that is worth your money. I for one can sure recommend this Cooler Master MasterCase H500P Mesh case. I'm giving it my Silver Award. And with that said, thanks for watching everyone.